Tonight, our main speaker is Danny. Please help me welcome Danny to the stage.
Hi, everybody. My name is Danny, and I'm an alcoholic. In case you noticed, I lost my balance. As I'm 83 now. Sometimes I can't walk straight, and I just like a drunk. Dumbass. I don't like this getting old shit. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad there are new people here. I hope you can find what I have found in this program. I didn't come in here willing and receptive. I came here because when I was young, my dad drank. And I tried hard to get him to quit drinking. And he never made it. And by the time I got married, he hit jail again in Phoenix for the third or fourth time. And I went to AA to see if they could do anything. And they talked to me and they said they can't help him because he wasn't willing, And they said, but you talk like maybe you may have a little problem. And I said, no. I have a little drinking problem, yeah, but I'm not an alcoholic. Jesus, that's a skid row drunk. And they said, well, and they tried to educate me, and I promised them I'd go to a meeting. And I went to one in Tucson, incidentally, and moved living down in Phoenix then for a while. And I didn't like AA. I didn't like the people. I didn't like what they said. I thought they were stuffy. The whole thing was just, all I ever learned was, I ain't never coming back here again. And two, I ain't never going to take another drink again either. I'll guarantee you that. 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later, I'd say, why can't I have a drink? There's nothing wrong with drinking. It's getting drunk that's bad. Drinking's, and back we'd go again, and the thing would go on, and I did this I started at 18 doing this, and I probably did it till I was 28. Now that's 10 years of slipping and sliding without AA. And the last 4 years, I would come into AA, because I'd think if you keep this shit up, you're going to become an alcoholic. And so I would come in here and listen, but same thing, I'd walk out and never would matter. And then after a while, my drinking got so bad, I realized one thing. I don't like AAs, but they stay sober. They'll be back here next year. When you come back, this room will be twice the size that it is now. And they'll be telling the same old bullshit, And yet, but it does work. And I said, I'm going to get that damn AA if it kills me. And I said, I'm going to go to meetings. And so I joined up in AA. But I wasn't happy about it. I didn't like it. I didn't tell anybody. If they asked where I lived, I said Phoenix. Because if you ask them, they'll want to come over and have coffee and all that shit. And I did this for about 9 months. Well, going to meetings. And I had to go to meetings because when I quit drinking, I had a lot of time on my hands, and I had a lot of stuff. And so I had to go to meetings, and I went to probably 2 meetings a day, 6 days a week, and listened, and I did that much, and I never took a drink. And after about 9 months, I had a friend come over, and I was, he and his wife, when I came home from a meeting, and I had invited some people from Bethany group of AA to come to my house and have coffee, learn to do that. And I knew they were going to talk about drinking and throwing up in public and get divorced 18 times and on their 17th job. And some of them would probably say the word alcoholic. And I thought, Jesus, God. And I suffered that night. But when they left, I said, I ain't never going to apologize for being an alcoholic again, and I never have. I said, that is terrible. That was dying 1,000 deaths. I got involved in AA, and everything went well. For 5 years, I have always been relatively happy most days. even in bad times after the time was over. But for 5 years I was happy, and my wife was happy because I wasn't getting drunk. I wasn't causing all these problems and everything. But after about 5 years went by, she wanted me to start learning how to have a little marriage and a little group therapy and a little getting along together and all that bullshit that comes with being married. And we went to every kind of group therapy you could go to. And I never learned a damn thing. Now, I didn't learn anything. I tried. I didn't mean to. But I didn't. But after about 5 years, she said, we're going back to more group therapy. And I said, no, we ain't. I'm as good as I'm ever going to get. You're stuck with me, sweetheart. Live with it, you know? No, I'm tired of this bullshit. Settle down. She did. She divorced my ass. Now, I'm Catholic, and I've been married now for 10, 12 years. We got 4 kids, for God's sakes. This was terrible. You know, and I didn't like her either, but God, I didn't go tell her that. I couldn't understand this at all, but at any rate, my pride was so much, I said, I'll give you your damn divorce, you know. And we were divorced in 60 days. And I thought, now I'll play that single group. And be honest with you, I don't know how you guys did it. 60 days I gave up. I knew I wasn't worth a shit. I didn't want to meet you. I don't want to meet your dad or your mother or your brother or your grandma and all them people. I'm sick of people. So I was not a pleasant guy. And I said, I've got to quit this dating. And so I said, I knew I wasn't worth a damn. I ain't going to have no more damn family. Hell, I had enough with that trouble. So I did, and so I decided, but I went on my ass bad. I couldn't work. I couldn't do things. I couldn't nothing. I really went bad. And I went to get some help, and the groups and people in AA said, you need some spiritual help. You need some spirit. And they sent me to a charismatic group. Tongue-speaking, out of this world, the whole group. I went to that meeting, and I don't know, a little miracle happened, you know. I found a place in there. Not that I was comfortable. It was like AA. I didn't like it a bit, but I knew that it worked. These people believed what they said, and I tried to do what they say. And then I went and talked with AA people, and they told me I had to change spiritually. And I said, I've been Catholic for 60, all these years. No, we mean change. And so they said, we will tell you what you need to think about. We'll tell you about God, about rule, the whole bit. And you listen and do what we tell you, whether you like it or not. We don't care. And if you don't want to do that, go out and drink some more. Wasn't drinking, I shouldn't say that. Go out and have, so I did. And I started going to the meetings with them and going to that. And 2 years later, in the meantime, I should mention my wife, who's living in Phoenix now. I'm in Tucson. She, in the meantime, had a spiritual awakening of her own. And she called me one time and said she had a spiritual awakening and wanted to apologize to me. And my attitude was, it's about damn time. I ain't had no spiritual awakening, but I'll tell you what I think. And she knew I would. But it wasn't long after that I read Prison to Praise, a little paperback book. Changed my life. Said, thank God for everything in life. Everything. Go back to age 2 and thank Him for everything that ever happened to you. And I did it. And it changed me enough that within 2 years, my wife and I were remarried again in Tucson. And our little family got back together. I got back in AA pretty good. I never took a drink. I knew to take a drink would only prove what I already knew. I'm a dumb shit. That goes without saying. You screwed it all up, cold ass sober. Now that's dumb. If you're drunk, okay, what do you expect of you? But cold as. So I joined us. Well, we were then together and put the family back together, and then it's been nothing but one adventure after another. Slow. Took me a long time to learn anything. Took me a long time. I learned little things, and I learned to stay sober, and I learned to stay out of trouble, to be nice to her, share things, go on vacations together a whole bit. And we've been tremendously happy. And I don't know what to tell you. We had our 60th anniversary not long ago. I married a little Italian girl. And back then and today, a holiday, Easter comes up. She wants to start at 10 in the morning and go till 6 at night and have everybody over and their kids and their kids and their grandkids. And I had to put up with that bullshit. Now it's the happiest day of my life. When everybody comes over and we spend the whole day together, I just sit around and I'm like in heaven. I watch my boys, thank God. Scared for my boys. They bring a 6-pack of beer. They open 2 beers. And then they say, wasn't that great? Woo! And they go home. Nothing changes. No arguments, no fights, no nothing. I finally learned what social drinking is. I never was a social drinker. And then I had a big problem when I got sober. I couldn't understand, why was I an alcoholic? And they said, you'll find out sooner or later. And I did too, within about 3 years. You know why I'm an alcoholic? I like that stuff. Shit, I like to get high. I like to get in that frame where you don't tell me shit. I'll tell you how the cow eats the cabbage, and I don't need anything. And boy, I want to tell you, I'm not a nice guy. My dad always drank, but he was smart. He'd go home and sit down and shut up and let everybody put him down, and he wouldn't say a word. Not me. Nobody give me shit when I'm drinking. I give them some trouble, but I always regretted it the next day. And so I learned to stay sober. Well, gradually I moved up here, and we retired here. Now I started going to a new program over here, the other side of town. And they talk a lot about God then, and I like to talk about God. I had always been, once I was in a seminary when I was 17, 18. But I didn't really believe. That's tough stuff to believe, that Christian stuff is good, So I didn't understand that, but I went to church every Sunday because I had a wife and now I had kids. But I realized I just didn't get it. So now they're talking over there about that, and I've learned that AA says you can have a God as you understand Him. And it dawned on me, I can have God the way I want Him to be, and I decided I want some things different. One, there ain't no hell. I've been going to hell all my life. Well, that's over. I ain't going there no more. Everybody goes to heaven because that's God's reward to us. That's what Easter Sunday's all about. That's what it is. And so today I believe there is a heaven and I'm going there. And what's worse, my mother's there. I owe her a lot of apologies. My dad's there. I never treated him the way I should have. And on down, they're all going to be there. And I'm going to be there with all of them. And then I know I'm going to be happy as they talk about and the rest of my life there. That's what I believe. My mind says sometimes, you don't believe all that shit, do you? I say, what if it ain't? If it ain't, it's making me a better person today to believe that this is what it's like when you die. God's promise to us is to grant us life everlasting when we die. That's His promise. Anything else is the gift. And that's in the serenity prayer. But if you keep reading it, it goes on and says if you practice it and working in your daily life, you will be reasonably happy in this life. A day at a time. And I've always been fairly happy in life. There's that. And so that's where I am today. I believe in that. Now, people who say it's wrong, I say, well, I don't care what you think. If I'm wrong, make me a worm, put me in the ground. I don't care. I ain't worried about that. But I want it to be, I need a God. And I need forgiveness, and I need life everlasting, and I need my family to be there. And here I come to this meeting up here when my young daughter died. And I could have never handled that 5 years before. But today I could. I can say, come back. And my mind would say, she ain't coming back. She's happy for the first time. She's doing things right. She's saying, come on up here. This is where it's fun. What are you hanging around there? Ain't nothing down there. And so today I'm able to accept her. And today she walks with me each day, my daughter and my two sons and my son, grandsons, all of them down the line, all because of this. And I look at that and I say, if that's so easy to believe, why did it take me all that while to learn that? But that's what I had to do. I had to come to the conclusion that, now, is there the virgin birth? I don't know. Are there 12 disciples? I don't know. You know, was there a Jerusalem? I don't know. We'll find out when we die. I don't make those decisions. I only believe there is a God. He's taking care of me. Everything's going to be fine for me, and I'll be reasonably happy most days. Period. That's all I want to know. And the rest of it doesn't matter. And you know what? I believe that today. And it makes me happy. So I've probably been the happiest I've ever been since I've been here. Matter of fact, I used to come here to meetings every noon. And Bill D. from Phoenix, Bill D., he used to talk like this, and one day I heard him say it, and it happened to me. He said, you know, I've had cancer since I moved to Prescott. I've had hip trouble. They replaced both hips. I had knee trouble. They replaced both knees. I had 3 strokes. Bounced out of that. But I've been reasonably happy up here. And that's the way it is. I went through all that and didn't seem to be bothering me. And he had to go to the doctor a lot and spend a lot. It's been great because today I realize life is, do I make it to heaven? Yes. Will everybody be there? Yes. Will I be reasonably happy today? Yes. Now today I'm not so happy. It reminded me when they had hot dogs today. I never been anywhere in my life that they had hot dogs that I didn't have 2 of them. You know? But I had gallbladder surgery a while back, and it's not back yet, and I can't eat a lot of things, and I don't like things. I didn't even have a hot dog. I thought, you chicken shit, go back there and eat a couple hot dogs. No, I ain't going through that. So I have learned how to be happy in this life, how to be reasonable in this life. I know I go a lot, Francis, I go a lot to AA meetings today. I make coffee Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on the Gurley Street there. I go to probably 3, 4, 5 a week, and I sometimes think, why can't you do it on your own? You know what? It makes me a better man. I'm a better man today than I would be if it weren't for AA. You may not be impressed with me, but let me tell you what, I'm better today than I was 5 years ago. And I was a better man then than I was 10 years ago. And 20 years ago, I wasn't worth the powder to blow me up. Okay. Now, what I've learned, and this is for the new people, I wish I could say like a lot of guys do say, I wake up in the morning and I take the 7th prayer and the 3rd prayer and this thing. I wake up in the morning and I want to see the sports page. I want to drink 3 cups of coffee plus. You know, I don't think about God till I'm on my way to the meeting. And I try not to, and you dumbass, you ain't saying. But on the way to the meeting, I think about God. And I say, you've got a power in your life that's taking care of you, and you've got it wired. And you just got to hang in there till it's fine. And that's what I do today. But I never meditate, don't meditate, shit, I ain't trusting this thing. I don't trust Danny for nothing. Because he's got a way of messing it up right at the end, just about the time you think he's good. And that's why I still go to meetings. And I sometimes think you're chicken shit to go to all them meetings. Because I got some friends that have been sober 50 years like me. They don't have to go to these meetings. And I say, I don't care if they do or don't. Makes me a better person to come here. I like everybody here tonight when I walk in. Even a couple of the dumbasses, and I know who you are too. But that's what AA does for me. It makes my life a better, pleasanter thing. I can handle all the things I've handled: divorce, death, money, the whole bit. And it's going to be good. And I know, how did I do it? I did not practice the 12 steps the way you should. I wish I would have. I really do. I see you guys get happier hell in a year and a half, and you got it where I don't understand that. But you do it, and I know it's true. But it took me a long time. But what I have to remember is this. What I had to do, I had to do. And I tried to get a little better. I'm better after 5 years without a drink. I look good. 10 years without a drink, I look so good my wife divorced me. But I look good. 15 years, I was cooking, the whole bit. And my life has been better and better and better and better. And it's because of that today. Today I go back to the same church that I've always went to. And I go 2-3 times a week with friends because we go out and have dinner and all these things, and I like that too. But I have to remember this. That is not part of this. I don't believe in all of the things they talk about. I just don't disbelieve in them. It's like AA. I don't believe everything I hear at AA. I like most things I hear here, but sometimes I don't. Well, don't listen, and that's what I do today. I try to, and I let it take care of itself. Today I know what my life is, and that makes me look stupid to other people, and I say, well, call me stupid. I'll answer. Here. No big deal. Life is good. It can be, and I hope you can come. And what do you have to do? Don't take a damn drink. And go to a meeting today at noon and tonight at noon and do that every day. And listen to what people have to say, and we'll get you. You don't have to get us. We'll get you. It might take us 5 years. I was probably, after being supposedly a Roman Catholic, etc., and preached it, etc., it took me 30 years to find this idea of God that I can understand and live with and say this is the way it is. But that's what I got it today. I try to share it with people, and they look at me like, you what? They don't understand it. I say, no, you got to, they know hell. No purgatory? No, they ain't got that. You'll be all right. You'll find everybody you want up there, and everybody. Why do you believe that? You know why? I have to. I have to get through this life this way. Happy. And that's how I do it. And that's why I'm saying to you, don't take a drink. Go to many, many meetings and try to practice these steps like our speaker did tonight. You did well with your sponsor. That's the way it's supposed to be done. But if you don't do that, keep the plug in the jug and go to meetings, because in 7 years we'll get you soon. And then in 14 years we'll get you. And it works on you, and that's the beauty. I have had more excitement, fun, thrills, the whole bit, being sober. I've had my problems, but they're not that big a deal. I got help. Like I say, right now I'm not particularly happy with old age. I stumble a little. I can't hear well. I can't see well. Can't listen to TV. Oh, bullshit. That ain't important. I've learned how to be happy today and trust in God that He'll take care of that. And I hope you'll find this too. I love AA. AA has been everything. It gave me back my life when I quit drinking. But two, it gave me my life a second time when I got remarried again. Not remarried, with my family again, with my children, with my people that I care about, that's important to me. I don't act like that sometimes, but I want to be like that. And I keep trying, but I keep coming to these meetings. And I'm going to come 4 times next week, and if you don't hear something, say about it, and I'll listen to it and maybe pick it up. You've got so many adventures coming your way. I didn't think I could ever get sober. I wasn't a bad alcoholic. I was a young alcoholic. I wasn't on them long drunks, but I just wouldn't learn. But I've learned here, go to meetings, stay active, and stay around these people and listen to them. You'll love it, and you'll be great. I'm happy to be here, and I'm going to see you around at some meetings. I'll see you then. Thanks.